So this is the lesson for 7-5. We're talking about exterior angles of a triangle. You do not know currently what an exterior angle is. We'll explain that in a second. The big thing today is you are going to be dealing with two topics that we've already talked about: supplementary angles and the three angles of a triangle. Remember that supplementary angles form this picture where they take a straight angle and divide it into two pieces. Those two angles added together equal 180 degrees. That's very important for today. The three angles of a triangle also add up to 180 degrees. That's very important today. Basically, what we're doing today is that we are taking these two topics and we are smushing them together. How we're smushing them together is that we're taking this triangle. Notice that this triangle fits perfectly into here. All right. These are the kind of pictures that you're going to have today. What these two things have in common is that they have this shared angle right here. It's part of the triangle and it's part of the supplementary angle. So they have this shared angle. So it's part of both of them. Now, what happens when that does that is that we end up with these two angles, 59 and 60. These two angles added together equals this outside angle. And that happens every time because of the shared angle in the middle, because both supplementary angles and the three angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. They have that in common. So when we have this shared angle and we take 60 away from one of them and we take 60 away from the other one, it means that these two angles added together equals this outside angle. That's the common theme that we're going to have amongst all the different types of problems today. We're going to have supplementary angles. We're going to have the three angles of a triangle. You're going to have this shared angle, and you're going to have these two inside angles equals this outside angle. So what does the word exterior mean? All right, exterior means outside. When we take a look at this triangle, this is an exterior angle out here. All right, this angle right there, that is an exterior angle because it's outside of the triangle. Same thing with on this side. This angle right here, this is also an exterior angle because it's outside of the triangle. The ones inside are called interior angles. All right, these are all interior angles because they're inside of the triangle. The angles that we're talking about are the three actual angles of the triangle. So we're looking at those three blue angles. So we have inside angles and we have outside angles. Those inside angles are called interior angles. The angles outside of the triangle are called exterior angles. So the little formula for today says that the exterior angle of a triangle, like angle number 1, equals the sum, remember that sum means to add, of the remote two interior angles of the triangle. Now, remote, if a movie is filming in a remote location, it's in a far away off location, all right, away from everything else. Remote means far away. So what we're talking about in this picture is if this is the exterior angle that we're looking at, angle 1, the two remote interior angles are 3 and 4. Those are the two that are farthest away from this angle number 1. So what the formula says is that these two angles added together, 3 and 4, angle number 3 and angle number 4, equals this outside angle of angle 1. And that's exactly what we were looking at in this previous picture. 59 plus 61 equals that outside angle of 120. So that's what happens there. But we also, in the same picture, so angle 1 equals angle 3 plus angle 4. We also have this exterior angle, angle 5. Angle 5 is these two interior, remote interior, the two that are farthest away from it, added together. So angle 2 plus angle 3 equals angle 5. So the two interior angles that are farthest away from the exterior angle added together equal that outside angle, that exterior angle. Now that might seem a little bit confusing. Let's take a look at some actual examples with some measurements in them. So when we take a look at this type of problem, these two interior angles added together equals this outside angle. So all that we would have here is these two inside angles added together equals this outside angle. So if we're looking for x in this case, all that we're going to do is add those two together. So we get that this angle equals 100. And that's our answer. It's as simple as that. Now, could you do this one in a totally different way? Yes, we could. All right. If I erase what we have here, there's a totally separate way to figure this problem out. Remember, in the previous sections, we did the three angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So if this angle is 40 and this angle is 60, we need to find this angle of the triangle. All right. That angle has to be 80 because the three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So if I did 180 minus 40 minus 60, that gives us that angle is 80 degrees. So this angle is 80. Well, now that I know that angle, now I have supplementary angles right here in the green. Well, supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So if this angle is 80, this angle has to be 100. So you can use a combination sometimes of the three angles of a triangle and supplementary angles to find your missing angles. Or you can use the formula that we talked about at the very beginning. These two angles, the two remote interior angles, added together equals this outside angle. Either way, you'll get the same answer. It's just sometimes a little bit quicker to add these two angles together and set it equal to that exterior outside angle. Let's take a look at another one. So this time we have our x inside. So these two inside angles added together equals this outside angle. So you need to set up an equation. These two interior angles added together, so x plus 92, equals this exterior angle, the one outside the triangle. What that sets up is a one-step equation. So minus 92, and we get x equals 31. Always make sure that your answer makes sense. 31 plus 92 does give us 123. Now, was there another way that you could have found this one as well? Sure, right? We could have done supplementary angles first, 123 and 57 make 180 for the supplementary. And then we could have done the three angles of the triangle. So we had 92 and 57, 180 minus 92 minus 57 gives us 31. Either way that you want to do it is perfectly fine, but it's a lot faster to do it this way with setting up the equation, especially when we get to the more complicated questions. Go ahead and try this one on your own, please. Go ahead and try this one on your own, please. So these two inside angles added together equals this outside angle. So we have x plus 22. If you put 22 plus x, that's the same exact thing, equals 134. Solve this one-step equation. So minus 22 minus 22, x equals 112. Again, always make sure that your answer makes sense. 112 plus 122 does give you 134. Again, you could have done this one a little bit differently. We could have done supplementary angles first. So 134 and 46 make 180, and then did the three angles of a triangle. So 180 minus 22 minus 46 gives you 112. Now, one of the ways that they're going to try and trick you, they're not always going to be facing straight up, all right? If you get a question that looks like this, it's just drawn upside down. I could redraw this picture, all right? The outside angle here is 120. This top angle is 56, and this angle is our x. So if they give you a picture that's drawn upside down or drawn sideways, you could either turn your paper or just redraw it. Now, when you go to solve it, again, these two inside angles added together give you that outside angle. So x plus 56 equals 120. Minus 56 minus 56. So you get that x equals 60. X equals 64. So always make sure that your answer makes sense. 64 plus 56 does give us 120. So that was the first kind of question that you're going to have. The next kind of question looks like this. In these, there's not two ways to set up your problem. In these, there is only one way. You need to set up an equation and solve it when you have like two x's in the problem, all right? These two interior angles added together equals this outside angle. Now think about combining our like terms. We're adding together an x plus 10. There's really a 1 in front of the x and a 1 in front of the x. 1x plus 1x is 2x. Then we have our plus 10. So those two inside angles added together equals this outside angle of 110. Solve that two-step equation for x. So minus 10 minus 10. So 2x equals 100. Divide by 2, x equals 50. Just like we were doing before with all the different parallel lines and different triangles and different angles, we need to take that answer and sub it back in to find the missing angles. 1 times 50 is 50. 1 times 50 plus 10 is 60. Always make sure your answer makes sense. 50 plus 60 does give us 110. Take a look at the next one. Again, these two angles added together equals this outside angle. Now be careful. Just like we had that one question yesterday where they gave us the angle, when we go to add these together, we're going to have x plus 90. We need to add together this 70 plus the 20 in our equation. So those two angles added together equals this outside angle of 3x plus 10. We had letters on both sides of the equal sign. I'm going to put a 1 in front of my x. So minus 1x and minus 1x. 90 equals 2x plus 10. Now it's just a two-step equation, minus 10 minus 10. So we have 80 equals 2x. Divide by 2's, you get x equals 40. Take that 40. We need to sub it back in for x, sub it back in for x. You don't need to sub in anything here because they already gave you that angle of 70. So 3 times 40 is 120, plus 10 is 130 for this angle. 40 plus 20 is 60 for this angle. Always make sure that your answer makes sense. 70 plus 60 does give us 130. Go ahead and try this one on your own, please. Go ahead and try this one on your own, please. Give you about another 20 seconds or so. So these two angles added together equals this outside angle. This is really a 1x and a 1x. So 1x plus 1x is 2x plus 2 equals 108. Minus 2 minus 2. So 2x equals 106. Divide by 2, divide by 2. And you get x equals 53. Take that 53, sub it back in, sub it back in. We don't have to sub anything back in here. This outside angle is 108. So 1 times 53 is 53. 1 times 53 is 53, plus 2 is 55. Always make sure that your answer makes sense. 55 plus 53 does give us 108. So that's the second type of problem that you have today. The third type of problem that you have today looks like this. Now, in this problem, there is some notation that you have not seen before. It says if M angle ACD, this M, all right, this M in front of the angle symbol, that M stands for the measure of. So if the measure of angle ACD equals 100, what I would personally do is write in the measurements where they belong in the picture. It will help you out massively because trying to figure out and keep track of where things are without writing them on the picture is very, very difficult. Remember, when you have angle ACD, you have to be able to trace that with your finger. So ACD. We always put the measurement inside of that angle. So that angle right there is 100. And if the measure of angle CAB, C to A to B, we always put it inside that angle. So this angle is 70. Find the measure of angle CBA. CBA. So we're looking for this one. Since we're looking for it, that is our X. So when you go to solve this type of question, these two inside angles added together equals this outside angle. So X plus 70 or 70 plus X equals 100. Minus 70 minus 70. So we have X equals 30. So this angle is 30. Always make sure that your answer makes sense. 70 plus 30 does give you 100. Take a look at this next one. In this next one, we have the measure of angle ABC. A to B to C is X plus 25. The measure of angle CAB. C to A to B. This angle is X plus 30. And the measure of angle ACD. ACD is 4X minus 15. Find each angle. Go ahead and try this one on your own, please. Set up an equation, solve for X, sub it back in to find all three angles. Give you about another 15 seconds or so. These two inside angles added together equals that outside angle. So we have a 1x and a 1x, which is 2x. We have a plus 30 and a plus 25, so that's plus 55, equals this outside angle of 4x minus 15. You have letters on both sides. I like working with the smaller of the two letters first. Minus 2x minus 2x. Now it's just a two-step equation, plus 15 plus 15. So 55 plus 15 is 70. Divide by 2, and we get x equals 35. Take that 35, sub it back in. 35 plus 30 is 65. 35 plus 25 is 60. 4 times 35 minus 15 gives you 125. Always make sure that your final answer makes sense. 60 plus 65 gives you 125. So that's the third type of question that you're going to have. The last type of question that you're going to have looks like this. Now, notice that in our picture, we have numbers as the names of our angles. So we don't have 3 letters in these. We have numbers. So it says if the measure of angle 4 is 120. So angle 4 is right here. I'm going to write in 120. And the measure of angle 5 is 105. So angle 5 is right here. So 105. Find the measure of angle 6. So this is the one that we are looking for out here. Now, when you take a look at this picture, the first thing that we want to do is use our supplementary angles to our advantage. We have supplementary angles right there in the green. If this angle is 120, angle 2 has to be 60, because remember, supplementary angles add up to 180. We also have supplementary angles right here. If that bottom angle is 105, then this angle has to be 75, angle 3, because they have to add up to 180. Now we have the 3 angles of the triangle. The 3 angles of that pink triangle have to add up to 180. So 60 plus 75 gives us 135. 180 minus 135 gives us 45 for this angle. Well, then you have supplementary angles again, right here, 45 and 135 add up to 180. Now, instead of doing the 3 angles of the triangle here, I could have used our formula and added together these 2 inside angles to give us our outside angle there. But then you still would have needed angle 1, so you would have had to do supplementary angles there. So those are the types of questions that you're going to have today. Again, the biggest thing that you need to remember is that when you have a picture that looks like this, these 2 inside angles added together equals this outside angle. So these 2 inside angles added together equals this outside angle.